Here we are again. This is Kevin Johnson of Leverage Consulting, and this is another edition of the Resilient Entrepreneur Podcast. So here's another one that I ran across, which I really like because there's so much packed into this one little meme that I ran across, which essentially was something from Nick Saban. I've really had to admire Nick Saban over the years. He's done so much with the Alabama program. And as with anybody, we can find fault with certain things, but you cannot argue with result. And that is one of the things that I work with clients is ultimately, and one of my favorite phrases is, we need to be moving the needle all the time. We have to move the needle. That's one way for us to show and demonstrate we're not just sitting here idle or spinning our wheels. We are technically moving the needle. And it could be in small ways or big ways, but we have to be moving the needle at all times. And this quote from Nick Saban was, average players want to be left alone. Good players want to be coached. Great players want to be told the truth. And that is a super impactful statement. And I think if you really sit back and take stock of some of the people that you know, some of the people you've worked with, some of the people that you may have working for you, or maybe we just go by a mirror and you may identify someone within those three different scenarios. So average players want to be left alone. Let's just take that one for a moment. That one, and we've all been there, let's face it. I mean, no one is one of those things for their entire life. There are times where people have zero interest in making changes, and it could be they had a bad day. It could be they're having a lot of stuff going on in their life. It could be that they're just a little stubborn, and they think their game is good. But over time, if we look at someone's career, if we look at least a year of employment, even a month of employment, a month of running a business, are you wanting to be left alone? Are you one where you think, I'm good? And usually when we say I'm good or we want to be left alone, it's because we're happy with status quo. We don't want change, or we think our game is good and we think there's no room for improvement, or we don't want the pain of improvement. The second one was good players want to be coached. And that one too is interesting in the sense that if a good player wants to be coached, they see there's room for opportunity. They see that they can get better. That one is one where still it comes with a little bit of maybe hesitation or a little bit of holdback, because they're looking to be coached. And sometimes looking to be coached means I want to be told what to do. I want to be told what's right. And there is always self-discovery in all this. You can't be told everything to do, because one person's way of doing it may not be your way of doing it. But as long as you know they had a path, a way that they did it, and they were successful, then you have to adopt it and make it your own. You may go find several professional golfers, and they may all play the game really well, but some are really strong in the long game. Some are great on the green. They have different strategies. Some of them have a different swing, but they have to do what's right for them. When you get on the football field, you may have some that are running backs that may be really fast. You may have some that are literally built like a bulldozer. Different reasons, different things make different people successful. But the most important thing in that one is you have to want to be coached, because there's another little saying which one of my clients really likes, and it is, once the student is ready, the teacher shows up. And that's really where that whole idea resides, is good players want to be coached. They look for someone to help them get better. They have that desire. The last one is, great players want to be told the truth. And what's so important about that one? It's really like the last one about wanting to be coached, but they're okay with brutal honesty. They're okay with being told that's not good, or they're okay. The people that I really love being around are the ones that are literally like sponges, and I'm talking about just on a personal level. I love being around people who are sponges. I've been one of those people my entire life, and I know there's been times where I've probably been stubborn too. My wife, Shelley, will probably attest to that. But this is one where brutal honesty will help people get further faster. And it could be you think you're doing something really, really well, but if someone is able to come in and watch you work, someone is able to pour through the result of what you've been able to accomplish, watch you in action, that might be something where that brutal honesty, and again, you take a Tiger Woods or you take a Michael Jordan. I was actually reading the book or listening to the book Relentless not long ago. And here this guy was at the top of his game, and he hired a coach that came in and basically blew up everything he did. And it was absolute brutal honesty on how he was going to elevate his game. So when you're taking stock of the people who are around you, you take stock of yourself, which is really the most important thing, because you are the most influential tool that you have. If you take that brutal honesty and you put it to good use and you figure out how you can change how you talk, you can change how you articulate things, which is great how I just said that. But if you change the way change how you articulate things, change the way in which you talk, you change the way in which you work, the way you work with others, interestingly enough, you will leverage yourself and you will get further ahead. Work on yourself first. Really, really good business owners, that's what they concentrate on, is working on themselves first. And the business comes second, but it also comes so much easier when you have worked on yourself. That, my friends, was the Resilient Entrepreneur Podcast. As always, if you've got great ideas for me to talk about, things that you'd want me to cover, questions you want me to answer, please feel free to message me. I do have some other cool ones that are coming up soon that may actually come in the form of video instead of audio. So stay tuned.